Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the making of Second Chance Heroes by Rocket City Studios. I'm Eli Platt, lead level designer. Alright, so here we are in the first level of the Wonchube mines, the mushroom levels as we call them. You have apparently arrived by raft, big giant raft here. Remember when I said there was a raft section at the end of the last level? Actually, that has nothing to do with it, but it's nice to think that they might be related. Anyway, you start out here and you're on your way to the mushroom mines, and so you've sort of entered the major city part. So this is sort of another major, well-developed area. It's not a living area, though. But, I mean, clearly at this point you've entered into the organized section of the hobo colony, and you are about to proceed into the mushroom mines. You are seeking a way out, you've freed some survivors, allegedly, and now you're just trying to, or actually I don't think you could get out. You know, I'll leave that one up to you guys to decide to play through the last level. Maybe you could remind me what exactly happens when you're done with it too. Alright, so now that I'm done sticking my foot in my mouth, we can go ahead and do our walkthrough of this level. You start out here on this pier area, and you head on out, and you've got an option of either going down the stairs and under this waterfall for a tangent. Neat little waterfall there, kind of thing. Or progressing forward in the level. This is an interesting point here, by the way, though, because the level used to initially start right here, and then there was a bridge over this section, kind of like this collapsed bridge up ahead, where it's broken off, and then you would start right here. And we decided the level wasn't long enough, so we built this beginning part as an add-on later. So pretty much everything in red here was an addition to the beginning. Once you get down and into the door where the original level was built at. And by the way, so this was another one of the very first levels after the beer level, where they were like, you can do pretty much whatever you want as long as it's a sewer. And so this is what I came up with. So instead of kind of doing a sewer like I did in the previous level, where it's like this really shallow sort of like troughs cut in, I wanted to do something more grand, and I had taken all of these giant pipes and made this like crazy pipe work in the middle of a really deep section, and there's like little aqueducts and broken sections and waterfalls and bridges, and it's just really over the top as far as the sewer goes. But it's definitely, you get in here and like there's no doubt this is a sewer. So you come across the pipes, back across the pipes to the other side, up some stairs, because you know I love my elevation changes, and there are quite a few of them in this level. You start up way up high, you go down, you could go down further, and now we've gone across at the same elevation and back up again. And so here was where you're introduced to the Tripper, a hippie zombie with a sign that says "Brains Not War." I don't know if I can show you that. Let me see if I can grab him and break out my rotate tool. Yeah, there's a sign. Brains not war. Let me undo that before it gets saved. You never know. Because our editor actually saves things as you touch them. So, like, if I move this jug, if I was on the move tool and I moved that jug, and somebody came through and saved the level later on, my changes would be represented in the level, but they wouldn't be pushed up until someone saved it. But if I never move the jug back, when they save the level, they'll get all my changes. Which is another neat thing about our editor. I'll go into that a little bit more in the Lost Levels thing, trying to maybe get into some technical stuff about how our editor works and all of that. In fact, maybe I'll even make a video just for the editor. Alright, moving on. You come up to this big platform here where you can fight another small like wave encounter to either come across here or go on another tangent where you come across this big giant waterfall. Another big waterfall back over here. You come across this big waterfall, and then there's a neat little like collapsed section where you can go into this cave, and we see more of that negative space thing kind of going on. Here you can actually see down to that slime, but you wouldn't see that in the actual game because that would be all in the fog, and the draw distance doesn't actually go that far. So like, yeah, you know, I'll get into that kind of like the draw distance stuff later on in another video. But the draw distance really only kind of covers a space. In fact, I'll get into it a little bit now. even if I cover it again later. So anytime you're in one of these squares, it only loads the squares next to you, but the distance that it fades out is from the player radially. So even if you're up here, even if you could look straight down, you can only see straight down so far before it's faded out. And so while this isn't low enough not to be seen, it is low enough and far enough away not to be seen. And if we wanted to absolutely make sure of that, we could always, well, I mean, the game camera is here, so supposedly you were standing on that scroll, and you scrolled up to here, you might be able to see it. So if we wanted to make absolutely sure that you couldn't, we could take one of these big black squares here and put it in the way. But we're not going to do that because we don't want to change things inappropriately. Anyway, nonetheless, let me get these bars out of here. We get this sidebar out of here. After that tangent, you can come back out and across the pipes, and then across this pair of pipes here on these bridges, and then down this far side until you get to here, and you're faced with, you can't get across there, so you got to come back out in the pipes into this big open area with all these mushrooms, kind of really just putting out the nice 3D effect, because I like how they come up at the camera, and so you get this nice, like the mushrooms parallaxing on the background, the arches parallaxing on the walls behind them. You get this really good 3D sense here. And when you finally come into this room, you fight the trash can zombie again, and then you depart across this bridge, and the level once ended here between this bridge, and there wasn't an arch up here. The arch ended where it was broken off. But we extended the arch at one point, and I don't remember why we did that. I don't know that we consciously did it. I think when I built the end of the level, I just subconsciously built the arch out, because I ended up deleting this whole area and then working it out again. And you come across this bridge up to here, and so all of this area is also added on to the level, because this was yet another level that was built in the era of really short levels. And so you can come out here, fight a cat lady here, so you get to see her again, and then into this room, which was borrowed off the next level. So what I did to build this area and to build it quickly is I took this section from the next level, put it here, and then just built it into this level. And you can sort of see some evidence of that, where this is kind of just L-shaped, and this is kind of just this weird pillar thing. But when you're in the game, you don't see those really strict geometric designs. You just see this. And so you can come over here, and this corner might be a little bit off, but it's not unbelievable. And for the most part, you're going to be focusing on the battle. So if you come into here, like you can see out this way, I mean, this is all extra space anyway. I mean, I feel like this is a lot of effort to go into space that you're only ever just going to barely see, and that's if you're just like standing in this corner and coming all the way over, you're only going to see this much. So even this here is all just sort of buffer in case you're playing in some really obscure ultra wide screen or something where yeah, and so then you can see here's the beginning of the next level, and the next level is possibly one of my favorite levels in the whole game. Alright, so that wraps things up for the first half of the Wonchube Mines, and that's it for this video. Alright, look forward to seeing you in the next part where we cover Wonchube Mines Part 2.